Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to another Marvel Rivals guide video. You guys killed it with the last one on Doctor Strange, and today we're bringing you Magneto, probably the second best tank in the game. So guys, if you're enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, and down below in the comments, let me know who you'd like to see next because you guys are killing it. Let's hop into the video today. Alright guys, welcome over. So first off, we're going to talk about Magneto's basic attack, Iron Volley. Now, this fires a single projectile that hits like a truck. It does 35 base damage and has a range of 25 meters here, as we can see. Now, what makes this thing so special? 35 damage seems pretty light. Well, Magneto spices it up. So the closer you are to the target, in general, you're going to do AoE splash damage. As we can see here, I'm within 15 meters now, and we can see the damage increase with that AoE splash damage. I gotta reload. As we take it out that target much faster. Some key things to note about Iron Volley is, much like Doctor Strange, we mentioned before, Magneto does not crit. So what you want to do with this base attack is you want to aim for center of mass to get the most amount of damage. Now, if you're in the midst of a fight and that's not possible, just aim for their feet and you're going to still get some of that AoE splash damage off, even though you're not hitting the target directly. Alright, so a couple quick tips with Magneto's Iron Volley auto attack to keep a note. So you want to stay within that 25 meters. Even though if you're at max range, you're going to still do a decent amount of chunking, 35 base damage no matter what. And he is really good at pestering out those flying targets. He's able to create pressure and play from a safe distance where he's able to auto and deal some DPS to them while also remaining pretty safe. And again, when you're going around, aim for that center of mass, let that AoE damage carry you if you're not able to get that combo off and get that most amount of damage on them. Alright, next up on the list, guys, we're going to go over two abilities for Magneto, which are basically the same thing, but apply to yourself or your ally. So, we're going over Iron Bulwark and Metal Bulwark. And what these are is basically a shield that makes you invincible, makes you the strongest person on the map. So first up, let's talk about Metal Bulwark. Metal Bulwark is an ability that you're going to yeet over to your teammate. It is going to give them a shield of 300 HP that's going to last 2.5 seconds. And the best part of that is they are immune to all crowd controls, and it acts as a cleansing ability. So if they are stunned, you can cleanse them out of that, which is really strong, really OP, and has multiple uses that we're going to go over here real quickly. Right now, we're going to cover 3 items that you're going to use for Metal Bulwark that's going to help your teammates. Number 1, you're playing with another tank, you're not solo tanking, throw that bubble on them. Let them get in there, let them be aggressive, allow them to make the space while you play back, and play puppy guard to your team. Second, your DPS or your support is getting dove heavily and getting focused by those Iron Fists, those annoying, creepy, crawly spider pigs. You know what to do. Pop that shield on them, protect them from those Eye of Agamottas, help your team out, and they're going to be blessing you and giving you the big thanks, Daddy Magneto. Third, you got a diving team, you got those magics, you got those Spider-Mans. Pop that bubble on them before they go. They got a shield, they're invincible, they're taking out their DPS, and you're sitting there laughing, drinking a cup of hot cocoa while you're capturing the point or pushing that objective. Alright guys, so now let's talk about the other aspect of that ability, Iron Bulwark. So Iron Bulwark is basically, you're throwing the shield on yourself, you're making yourself the unkillable tank and the menace on the map. This is really strong when you are solo tanking to basically just make space. Give yourself that shield, push up on these targets, create that space, and when that shield runs out and you start to have danger, which we're covering the other ability later, you still have another invincible shield where you take no damage. Quickly, I'm going to cover a couple little nuances of Iron Bulwark and Metal Bulwark. So, we've already talked about it's a CC cleanse, gives you 300 HP, and 2.5 seconds of immunity there till that bubble breaks. What is really, really strong about this ability, it is the epitome of, nope, not today. You're stopping anything that's coming at that. It's blocking ultimates, it's blocking regular auto attacks, it's blocking anything and everything. It even protects you from Jeff ult. That's insane. So, little tip that makes this ability super, super clutch is understanding how it works with your synergy and comboing. So, when we talk about the mag cannon, we are going to cover the rings. So basically, what it does when you don't have any rings charged up,
here they are now.
Metal Bulwark and Iron Bulwark charge it up. So once you use that mag cannon, for example, and I throw my shield on me and I take 300 damage, it is going to charge my rings up. We already know that it passively charges up slowly over time, but throwing that bubble on someone and letting them soak up that damage will charge your mag cannon, and you'll have it instantly and able to follow them up with one of those deadly combos of the 1-2 punch right there. All right, guys, so we're going to cover the big burst mag cannon. This thing just sounds like a tank, an artillery gun. It is that. It is burst damage, and when you're pairing that up with Iron Volley, you're taking somebody out for sure. What do we need to know about this? As we know with Magneto, and I'll describe here, he has 3 rings. You can see on the screen here, he has 3 charges. Those 3 charges, you want that to be fully lit up purple to get the most amount of damage. Once it's at 3 charges, you can do 90 damage with that mag cannon instantly. So, when you have 1, you do about 30. When you have 2, you're doing 45, 50 range. You don't want that. That's weak. Always use it at 3. So when we use this ability, it does charge up slowly over time. But, which we talked about with the shielding, is you want to throw Iron Bulwark or Metal Bulwark and use that to soak up damage. Every 100 damage you take recharges 1 ring instantly. So if you pop the whole bubble, you get your full mag cannon, instant recharge. Now that we've covered mag cannon, let's go over the wombo combo with Magneto. So, what you want to do with Magneto, if you have the capability that you know you can take out the character, is you want to soften them up with a couple of those iron volleys, and you want to use your fully charged mag cannon on that 3rd hit. So basically, you want to try to get 2 autos off, and then hit him with that mag cannon, and last auto, and that will take out any healer or DPS character. And that's really the only combo. He's very straightforward, very basic, but he hits like a truck. We've talked about the auto attack combo with mag cannon, but there are a few little nuances and a couple little caveats to where you can use this ability to protect your team or to push some objectives. So what it's really good for is it can interrupt ultimates. For say you have Doctor Strange ulting at you or Iron Man in the sky trying to ult. If you pop them with a mag cannon, it will interrupt and cancel that ultimate ability, and they don't even have a chance to get it off. Secondly, it's really good for peeling off diving tanks or diving Black Panther, Spider-Man. They're on your supports. You don't have that bubble up. If you can quickly pop them with that mag cannon, it is going to expel them off your teammates and keep them alive a little longer. Thirdly, if you're solo tanking, you're trying to get up and make space, it is really strong at just pushing them off of you. It gives you the room to be the aggressive player, make the space, take the advantage positions. And also, if they're near an edge, just give them a little boop, boop, and they're out of there. So like Doctor Strange, our next ability, big giant shield, metallic curtain. Now it's a little different than Doctor Strange's. It doesn't have a limit of what it can soak up, but it has a time period. It only lasts at full charge about 2 seconds. But this is a nothing is getting by me. I am the defense. So you throw this shield up, it will catch any projectile just like Doctor Strange. It will catch Iron Man ults, it will catch Punisher bullets, it will catch Moon Knight bullets, and then it will all just like drop to the ground, all kind of cinematically if you ask me. A couple things to know is basically it has 100 energy. So every second that you use drains 50 energy. Again, it only can last 2 seconds. And it recharges every second about 10 energy once you cancel that ability. And another thing to know, like Doctor Strange, if you let this fully go down and empty out, it takes a 3-second cooldown before you can even pop it again. So, again, working with the shield is you want to be proactive and popping it when you really need to protect yourself, dropping it early so it can recharge and you have it back. But the synergy between Iron Bulwark and Metallic Curtain in protecting yourself, again, is giving you 4.5 seconds if you use it strategically between bubbling to make space and using that shield after to make more space. You are invincible from any projectile for about 4.5 seconds, like I said. Alright, so very quickly, guys, we're going to go over Magneto's passive ability, Magnetic Descent. So Magnetic Descent is kind of one of the most not cool passives in my book, but it is kind of useful if you are falling down and you want to stay away from the team. You take a nice slow descent. Alright, guys, so buckle up for one of the most flashiest, coolest, giant meteorites that you're chucking at the enemy team, but also one of the most misunderstood abilities in the game. So basically, when you pop this Q, you start to gather every projectile, everything around you, and you're chucking a giant meteorite, and you're taking somebody out. Guaranteed. Take them out. Do not let anyone survive your mass destruction. Let's cover some of the little caveats and little secrets of this ability. So, numbers-wise, when you charge up and take to the sky and grab that meteorite, if you fully just chuck it immediately, you're doing 100 base damage, which isn't bad, but that's not taking anyone out. You want that to charge up for about 4 seconds to get that max 300 base damage when you chuck that meteorite, which is taking out any healer, any squishy, any DPS character. Big, massive damage. Secondly, to note, when you take to the sky, you have a 15 meteor circle around you. What this is going to do, and we're going to get into how you maximize more damage, when all the chaos is happening, people are firing, people are shooting ultimates, is you can grab things like Iron Man ult. You can grab those projectiles coming at your team, and what will happen is it will get absorbed in your ability and is going to increase your damage. So I'm going to get into the numbers. But again, just know 15 meters around you, you're soaking up everything, and it's going to increase your damage output. It takes 4 seconds to fully charge, and you can go up to a max of 100 on your meteorite when you go up into the sky of projectiles you're gathering. When you get fully charged, the range of damage is going to increase from 5 meters to 8 meters. That is massive. It might seem very small, but those 3 meters will make the difference between finishing someone off, getting a double, getting a triple kill, or just whiffing entirely. So really, if you can, get it fully max charged. Just like the mag cannon, you want max damage. And then last little thing about numbers, which I think is the most misunderstood part of his ultimate, and people, and I, again, when I started this game, I was like, why is my meteorite just breaking? So it is really crucial that you have to pay attention to that meter when you're charging up and catching projectiles. If it goes over that 100 cap, your meteorite just explodes in your hand. So if it's getting really close to 100, you've already got the 300 extra damage. Even if it's not fully charged from the second, you're going to do 300, 400, 100 base damage plus at least 300 gathered. And those couple seconds, you're doing 500, 600 damage still. Chuck it. Let it go. Don't let it sit in your hand. Don't get all like, oh, I don't know who to hit. Throw it. Just throw it. Even if you don't get full damage, just get that ability out of your hand. It will create pressure. It'll make a little space. But you will look like a fool if you're not one-shotting anybody. So let me cover a couple quick tips with the ultimate ability. So first things to really note, tip number 1 is aim for their supports. Take note that when Cloak and Dagger ults, when she does her second dash, start charging your ultimate because you can catch her on that 4th dash that is stun locked in animation and one-shot her. You can also, like Namor, Magneto is one of the only other characters that can one-shot Lunar out of her ultimate. She is a little bit harder to hit as she can kind of maneuver around and evade you. But if you do hit that center of mass and get that full charge meteorite, you're taking her out and canceling out that 12-second ultimate, which is probably the most annoying thing when you hear, I'm putting on a show, and then your team can't do anything. Another quick tip, something like Punisher, which we've talked about before, you can catch, when he ults, you can catch all of his projectiles very quickly. And if you just fully catch his projectiles and dump that little ult, just a little whoop from back low, you will one-shot him as well. It doesn't even matter if it's fully charged. You will absorb all those projectiles and just fire them at him, and he's cooked. So those are a couple of the quick little tips on the ultimate. I'm going to drop all that gameplay and everything for it. And again, Magneto's pretty simple. His ultimate is the coolest and flashiest thing about his kit, but just mastering these little nuances and really getting good with your bubbles and shielding, and especially the ultimate. It is the most crucial thing in his kit, and the difference between winning a team fight and losing a team fight. I guarantee if you miss a Magneto ult, it is very hard to win a team fight. If you hit one, your team is rolling in the dough. Guys, so let's talk about the last thing, Metallic Fusion. This is Magneto's team up with Scarlet Witch. I don't think there's much really to dive into it. What it does here is it creates a sword projectile. So he starts using his great sword and slashing, which gives him a bigger hit target and more damage. So instead of his projectile doing 35 damage, it does 60. And it will ramp up his damage output from initially a regular iron volley with the AoE damage from 75 to 95. A 20-second increase, pretty good. Not a bad ability. You're doing 20 damage per hit. That's any numbers we like to take because you're taking them out faster. Getting them lower for that mag cannon just to pop them out real quick. This ability does go on an internal 30-second cooldown after you've used it. And that's really about it. It's One of the it's not a great team up, but it's not one of the worst. It's good for him. It doesn't really do anything for Scarlet Witch, but hey, we're playing Magneto, right? We're greedy. We're greedy. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this guide. A little quicker, a little faster, a little less in depth to do. I feel like Doctor Strange has a little more caveats, nuances. Magneto is very straightforward, very simple, but very, very strong. If you got to rank the tanks, him and Doctor Strange are arguably probably 1 and 2 up there. So again, guys, if you like this content, enjoying the guides, enjoying everything I'm doing, please subscribe, like, comment down below. Again, who do you want to see next? We can do anybody. I'm kind of going through the tanks, kind of going through some of the strongest characters in this meta. And Magneto definitely is, especially with a 3 healer meta and his ability to just obliterate 1 to 2 healers instantly makes him incredibly strong. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.